What is up, you guys? Alex here. Today I have a combo test hand video on heroes. As you can see by the title and the screen, the little camera somewhere. I figured that a week ago I posted the deck profile, and about a month ago I posted a test hand combo with the deck. That's still very good, but I figure that with the new Vision Hero cards coming out this weekend, the 12th, a lot more people are going to be looking into picking up the deck or know how to play against it. And today I will be covering that. I will be showing you some of the plays, some of the key strong cards that you need to stop if you're playing against this deck. Because 1-2 cards might not be really, I guess a +2 might not seem a very good trade just yet. But those 2 cards that you gained your first turn after setting up a Dark Law, by the way, the following turn becomes a +4, 6, and then you just kill your opponent. Early turns, I guess turn 1 with this deck, you're gonna be setting up your fusion plays, including a Dark Law, maybe summoning. Where is he? Dystopia. So this is how you win the game, and this is how you control the board. You usually want to have Dark Law and Dystopia together, because when Dystopia's attack is modified from its original, he destroys a card on the field, and you can destroy any card on the field. So if there's a monster big enough to run over Dark Law, Dystopia can get rid of him. And Dark Law doesn't allow them to play with their graveyard, so if they put everything they had into to basically deal with Dark Law, to put a threat big enough to run over him, or harmful enough to basically spin him back into the deck, or Cerberus who pop. This Dystopia can prevent that and ensures victory. So you usually want to set up. This is your turn 1, your ideal turn 1. These 2 guys with probably a Link 2. Where is he? You usually want Cross Crusader for the follow-ups, because Cross Crusader's effect is once per turn to bring back a Destiny hero and to search. So if he stays alive, we can normal summon any hero, possibly Stratos, or we can tribute anybody and search any hero from our deck to allow us to keep going and put more damage. But the ideal turn 1 board is this: Dystopia, Dread Decimator, and Dark Law. If you happen to get those 3 on board turn 1, you're set, you're golden. He's already loaded to pop 2 cards on your and your opponent's turn, because he's giving them 100 times every single hero in the graveyard with a different name, and he pierces as well. So at the end of this play, you'll have about 10 to 11 heroes. Like consistently you'll have 11. So everybody will be gaining 1100, meaning Dark Law is a lot bigger, so they're going to need a Chaos Max or Borlow to out it. But I don't know how they're going to do that when we have a pop and they have no graveyard. So ideal turn 1s and ideal turn going second, it involves Adoration. It involves him to some extent, but not much. But the main player going second against big boards is... This is very, very possible to do, by the way. I will highly recommend looking into the deck profile. If you have not seen it, please pause the video, check my channel, and look for the deck profile on this deck. And you'll understand the cards that I'm playing that allows me to pump out a lot more damage. So boards like this are very possible going first and going second. But we usually want to go first, because we want to set up our graveyard, our place for the following turn. But going second, we can still do a lot of damage. He has 15,000 damage. He can make anybody lose attack equal to any of these 2 guys, and it's really silly. So possible OTKs going second and follow-ups, but going first, it's a Dark Law Dystopia kind of deck. That's how I designed it, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So we're going to shuffle. So I'm going to be looking down here because that's where my mat is, but hopefully I'm going to also come down here and talk to you guys. Alright, so all shuffled up. We're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. All right, we got plays. We definitely got plays. So what we need to establish at first, we have this Desire, and I only play 1 Desires in my deck because we don't really need it, but I'm playing more than 44 cards. One of my rules is if I'm playing 44 and below, I'll play 1 Desires. If I play 44 or more, I play 2. In this deck, I don't really need to draw because the deck allows me to draw, but there are hands like this that could be really weak, or I could have just 1 here and I need someone else. It could allow me to get that. So it's like Pot of Greed. I don't really need it, it's just there. So in this case, I believe that we're gonna have to hold it until we have everything out of the deck. Because with this, we can go get our, we can get a Polymerization out of the deck. We can get Malicious out of the deck. We can get Stratos or Shadow Mist. So we can deck in a lot, and then we can Desires into like Monster Reborn or maybe a Solemn Strike or whatever. So we're gonna hold this for last. Call by the Grave, it's pretty good. It stops everything. Best card in the game. Ash Blossom, cool. So we have plays, and I'm really happy that the first hand that we got, we have a Solid Soldier in our hand. That allows for a lot of plays, and he is one of the best cards, and I believe he should be, if you're normal summoning any time, it should be him. He allows for so many good plays because of its own field effect and on its graveyard effect. Being able to float back a guy, so good. So we're going to start by normal summoning, and then we're going to claim his effect, special summon. Remember, these guys, they're proxied out, but we will be getting them later this week. Today is the 8th, I think, 7th, so we'll get them in 5 days. So this guy, when he is summoned, he lets us special summon any Vision hero from our deck. And in this case, we're going to go grab Vion, of course. Vion, when it's summoned, sends a hero from the deck to the graveyard. And in this case, we can get Shadow Mist out there. And so 2 things about this deck. If you do not have a fusion spell card, you need to go and get it. Vion gets us the Polymerization, and in the video in the deck profile, I explain why I play 2 now. And I believe it's a mandatory 2 you have to play it at 2. Especially with Desire. So we can get one of the fusion spells out, and in our opening hand we did not have one, and this is a fusion based deck. We need those fusion spells. We got Polymerization covered. There's no way to search Fusion Destiny yet. Hopefully we can get it later. So we have to hard draw into Fusion Destiny, which is one of our best cards. The other card is Masked Change. In this case, because we sent Vion to the graveyard with Shadow Mist, we can go and bring it back. Because when he is sent from the field to the graveyard by the effect of a spell card, we can special summon back a hero. So what we can do is send that Shadow Mist to the graveyard and keep him alive. And whenever if we are able to fuse with them or send him to the graveyard by the effect of a spell card, we can get that Shadow Mist and get that Mass Change. So we'll have 2 fusion spells. So you see how important it is to like have access to your fusion spells without really hard drawing them. So hopefully we get a searcher for Fusion Destiny soon. Oops, there we go. So there we go. So let's see. I really want to get that Mass Change. So I'm thinking, how can we go and do it? Because we gotta keep that Vion. We can activate this Desire in our hand and probably dig for it or for a Mass Change, but I don't like that. We have to get that Malicious out of the deck, and I think we're gonna have to dig for that Mass Change, and this is how we're gonna do it. We are gonna activate Shadow Mist in the graveyard to get us that Malicious. Malicious added to our hand. Then Vion will banish the Shadow Mist. Sadly, we have to do it to get Polymerization. So our initial play has us at a +3. We started with 5 cards, and now we have plus 3 monsters on field. And malicious, it's really 2 monsters, so we have plus 4 or 5, and eventually it'll just keep rolling and get us more cards. So we're gonna poly here. We're gonna use Mally and this guy, and we're gonna make, in the deck profile I gave Adoration the name Unbreaker, because that's all he really does. But in this case, we have access to a dark monster, dark effect monster. So we're gonna save Adoration, and instead we're gonna use the next Unbreaker that serves a purpose than just being Unbreaker. He can send Shadow Mist to the graveyard to get Stratos, and Stratos is very important. So we do that. We want to keep this solid soldier on the field as long as possible. Just remember that, because we want to be able to fuse with it and bring somebody back. So at this point, which is going to be Stratos, it's going to be Stratos. So we're gonna link into Cross Crusader, and then Cross Crusader will special summon back this guy. When he is link summoned, he special summons any Destiny Hero monster, which is really good. One of the best cards, and he has a Rhoda effect as well. So we still have that Malicious, and because we're gonna be desiring soon, let's just activate its effect now. So Sir special summon. Let's see. Where are you, Malicious? Special summon Malicious. Then we're gonna activate its effect to search, and this is what we can do. We could search any hero here, so we can use its effect, this guy's effect, on our opponent's turn, which lets us Foolish Burial any Destiny hero, and lets us basically set up for the follow-ups. And the follow-ups include +4, drawing from the graveyard, because this commander and Celestial, we're gonna have access to at least a polymerization to summon. Where are you? Dominance. Dominance is so strong. Like, being able to put things on top of the deck in any order and then drawing them is really strong. Or we could go into the Wonder Driver and hope that we draw into. You know what? No, we're gonna add that Stratos here, and we are going to Pot of Desires. One, we actually did everything we had to before with Desires. We could have activated Desires right away, but what if we banish Stratos? What if we banish the second Mally? Well, what if we banish both our polymerizations? So now we have actual cards in graveyard that matter, that we can get back. Monster Reborn still in the deck. World Legacy Succession exists. Any fusion spell card can have access. It becomes a Monster Reborn if we have Solid Soldier, and gets us access to Diane, and Diane gets us access to more heroes. So it will, at this point we dug, everything's out, so we're gonna have to Desires, and hopefully we draw something that allows us to play. And if not, it's not the end of the world. We have ways to play. We have Stratos for follow-ups. We have an Ash, a Call by the Grave. It's not the end of the world. So banish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Draw 2. So let's take a look at what we banished. So form change, Dyna Tag, a Hero Lives. I never draw Hero Lives. 1 Fusion Destiny, that sucks. 2 Ash Blossoms, alright. This is not so bad. We can work with this. And what we drew into Celestial and Call by the Grave. So let's take a look at what we have. So we don't have access to a Dark Law. We couldn't get into a change card, and those are one of the key points that I want to keep work on the deck, because having access to a Reborn card is so good. But I do not want to play 2 World Legacy Successions, because I might not have or never get to a Link 2 in the first place, because there's a lot of decks playing back row like Solemn Strike. They have Ogres, Ashes, they have Effect Veilers. So World Legacy Succession is amazing when you're really playing. And if Monster Reborn was at 3, I would play 2 in this deck. Soul Charge, I would play Soul Charge in this deck. I'll pay 5,000 and bring back 5 of my guys. But it's not the end of the world, because we have a way to load our graveyard. Send him, discard, send anybody, and in this case we probably just want to send this commander, because next turn we can draw 4 cards of those 2. And we have strikes, we have solemns, we have an Ash Blossom. They can't really beat through all of this. Next turn we're just gonna draw 4 or 5 cards, and we're gonna be summoning dominance and draw more cards. And by that time, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a mass change and be able to get into our mass heroes. Anki generates more ways to summon heroes from the deck and or graveyard through Solid Soldier, and Solid Soldier has access to the Vision heroes, and the Vision heroes get the polymerizations that make 15,000 damage possible. That's what I'm trying to explain. Is the deck has a lot of powerful plays, but some of them you can't just do with 1-2 card combos. It has to be like gradually. You have to work through that, and all really happens. All what matters is how you make your plays. If you go and just want to summon Darklaw, then just build a Darklaw Turbo deck. But if you just want to play competitive, fun hero deck, then this is what we're trying to make happen. I've always liked heroes, but I've never really played heroes because it was Darklaw Turbo or nothing. And Darklaw is amazing, but I didn't want to do that. So I played better decks. I played Necross, and I played when BA were playing Mass Change 2. I was playing what did I play then? I played Shaddolls. It's just Darklaw Turbo has never been a good deck. The Toad Darklaw Turbo deck, yeah, but we're not talking about that anymore. Let's go to Ted's hand number 2. Oh my goodness. Okay, so very foreign hand, but we can make it work. We have a lot of ways to go about this, and this Ash Blossom is usually dead, but they're there because we need to play them in our decks. You know, Konami forces us to play these cards, so we are going to. We can go get those polymerizations that we play, and I like the Vision Heroes for that. I was really excited when they announced them. I don't know if you guys watched my deck profiles from back 2-3 months ago. I was playing a version with Isolde, because I love Isolde. 2 warriors into any 2 warriors, that's amazing. But it required me to play 1 Vion, because after the first time I never wanted to see it. I played 1 Poly because it would be really useful for the deck. But now that the Vision Heroes were introduced, this happens. You draw a lot of hands with these, but you have to play this ratio. And again, please pause the video and go watch the deck profile that I uploaded before this. It will make a lot more sense. So we'll normal summon this guy, and when he is summoned, he can normal summon or special summon. He can special summon one Vision Hero from our deck, and yeah, this is how things start. Vion. So before we even activate Vion's effects, you usually don't want to do this. You never in your life want to normal summon this guy, but we play 2 copies of him, and we have to make it work, and we can. So we're just exploring as of right now. Vion on summon, he will send a hero, and in this case it's going to be Shadow Mist, because we need to get resources for next turn and or possible this turn. So Shadow Mist, where are you? So Shadow Mist, and Shadow Mist will get us a Destiny hero, because we are trying to get to Dystopia eventually, and the best Destiny hero to have in the graveyard ready to be loading Dystopia, at least a disruption, is Dynatag. because I want to be able to get to next turn, and with this hand, actually I might. So we're not going to do Dynatag, we are going to do Celestial. With next turn, I much rather draw 2 cards than destroy one of my opponent's cards. You will have an Ash Blossom to maybe hopefully stop them somehow. So here's our hand. We're gonna discard Malicious here to special summon this guy. And when he is summoned, we lets us take a Vision Hero from our deck, put it in the back row as a face-up trap card, and that's the gimmick that Vision Heroes have, which is kind of neat. And you can, when you take damage, you can put him there from the grave. So as of right now, they seem to be stacking in my deck, but maybe because they're copies, like photocopies, and it might be the reason why. So we want to keep that Shadow Mist in the graveyard because we might need to bring it back next turn to have access to our change cards, our quick play change cards. And this guy, he's really just done. You want to start with them special summoning. If we kept one of these guys in the deck, our plays would be a lot better. This would have been a Stratos and done other things, but we drew both copies, so we're making it work. So we're just gonna link 2 into Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader will bring back this Malicious. The cool thing about Konami and how they're balancing things, if this commander didn't have the errata, we could just like put him there and then bring him here and then draw 2. But we can't do that. We could have done that with draw hand, but Malicious, it was a lot better target. Shadow Mist was a lot better target. So here we'll just use the effects. Actually, no. Once we have this here, very important, very important. You don't really want Vision Heroes on field. They are useful for the one time and that's it. Like this guy is useful for summoning Vion. He's useful to summoning Vion. And this guy is useful for next turn, but in this case we just had to get him out. So just get the poly, just banish the guys that they're just useless. Banish the guy. Banish this guy actually. Banish this guy to get a polymerization. Oh man, Ghost. What are you doing, buddy? Ghost? That's my cat. Alright, so you want to get rid of all your dead cards that you don't really need. So that's our feel. We can tribute anybody, and the Destiny Heroes are the best ones to have around because they make Dystopia, they make what's your name again? Dominance. They make those guys, and those are a lot stronger than your Vision Heroes are in the first turn. So we're gonna tribute the Vion to search any hero, and we have a Mali as our hero. We can search a follow-up, and the best card to have in our hand for next turn could be this to protect our guys, but no. Our opponent has to kill us. They have to go after us. If they know we have a Stratos in our hand, they have to go after us. So in this case, we're gonna polymerization the Mali, this guy, into Dystopia. Then Mali's gonna banish, special summon the other Malicious, and then linking into this guy. So our board is, I am going to be honest with you, it's not the greatest. It's not the most intimidating. Yes, we have 2 ways of disruption here. We have the Ash Blossom that they don't know, and we have this that most people don't even know. They'll pick it up, but then they won't realize. So you can explain to them when they are actually getting their cards popped. They're both gigantic. They are plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're both plus 600. That's not too bad. We have, remember the Vision Ghost. I'm sorry, my cat is just being a pain. The Vision Heroes have an effect when they're summoned, so you can get this guy back. When he is summoned, you get a banished hero and start your place again with getting you a Vion that gets you more place. Then you can summon Stratos and get yourself maybe a Plasma, and then Plasma could definitely just win you the game. Or we can have a way to summon back that Shadow Mist from the banished spot from the graveyard and get those change cards. And we have ways to draw cards because Celestial's back there in the graveyard. So not the most intimidating board, but definitely one that is played correctly. You can definitely survive a turn and ensure victory in the follow-ups. And if Konami make... And a lot of these videos, a lot of people are just going to start with A Hero Lives and just donut you. But it doesn't happen as often as you think. I do test hands all the time, and the amount of times I've had a Hero Lives in my hand has been like once, twice maybe. It just doesn't happen. And if Konami puts a Hero Lives to 2 or 3, then I feel that this deck would be a lot better. A little more consistency, that's what I'm asking. Hero Lives, it summons Stratos from the deck, which starts your main engine, and you pay 4,000 for that. That seems like really fair in my opinion. A few months ago I didn't think so because Firewall was legal and Gokis were nuts. But now it's a lot more tame. So I'm going to shuffle up one more, and we're going to do a go in second and see how much damage we can pump out. We did a go in first, go in second. And in this case, you know what, just because, let's craft our hand. Let's get ourselves some like insane cards. So we're gonna start with a Hero Lives. Why not? Let's start with Fusion Destiny. Why not? Let's get a mass change. Why the heck not? Let's get ourselves a brick. One brick. You know, I'm being generous to ourselves. Let's get ourselves one Call by the Grave. Let's see, does that work? Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, sure. You know, this is our hand. Sorry, I was facing to myself. So this is our hand. This is a hand we're gonna start. And we're going to draw one random card because we're going second. And that's what we're going to try to do. Let's see how much damage we can do. We draw a card. Alright, so the reason why I did this is because I knew that if I drew into multiples of this, like I could draw into another Call by the Grave, it would be like broken or it could be really bad. If I drew into a second mass change, it would be amazing. If I drew into another Fusion Destiny, well, they have Ash, I can, well, it's once per turn. I can have the Call by the Grave. So, broken hand, but at the same time very balanced because I might draw a second copy of it and be locked into. So, we immediately just go to the main phase and pay 4,000 life points because we have to get that Stratos into the field. And if our opponent has Ash Blossom, we have that Call by the Grave, yes, but if our opponent doesn't have any graveyard effects and everything's on the field, then it's just a dead card. So we pay 4,000 life points to special summon the only one, Stratos. And for that, allow me to let my cats out. Alright, let's go. Come on. Sorry about that. Let's get some water and then continue. So we get Stratos out of the deck because we have to. And in this case, we have a break in our hand. Hopefully you guys can see this. See, yeah, this is our hand. That Stratos over here. It here lives. It's in the grave. Malicious is in our hand, and we usually don't want him there. He's a 2, remember, so we must use him correctly. So what's the best way to do this? Vision Heroes, because Vision Heroes let us get access to basically everybody because Shadow Mist can be sent there. So we're just going to be getting ourselves the best support that I believe we've gotten so far. Vision Heroes. They do so much for the game, for heroes in general. Having access to, in my opinion, the best hero monster in the game, Vion. It's really good. Vion searches their polymerization, which, guess what? Heroes are a fusion deck. Oh my goodness, he has access to any fusion you want. That's really good. So we pitch Malicious, the brick, to special summon. And when this guy special summon, we can place any vision hero, which is really strong. Okay, this guy, he contribute any hero, quick effects to special summon and get anybody from the deck. Any vision hero. It would be amazing if it was any hero, which if elemental heroes or heroes in general has got an E-tally, summon a level 4 or lower hero monster, oh my goodness, like another hero list, but no, like, just stop Alex. So special summon Vion. You know what we're going for? We're going second. We're going for no TK. So Vion summon, since Shadow Mist, because we have a mass change, we really don't have any use for her. Shadow Mist effect gets us anybody, but who do we need? We probably need that Honesty Neos. It will allow us to actually go for game. Form change actually can go for game, but I believe that getting that Honesty Neos is the way to go. Or we have not normal summon. We have not normal summon. We have Malicious in graveyard. We have access to anybody in our deck. So we're gonna get Solid Soldier, and I'm super excited because Solid Soldier is one of the better cards to have in your combos. So then we're gonna banish this guy because he just does nothing, and hopefully all of this is being recorded. Now banish him. Right hand. To search Poly, and we played 2 because if we had one, then we could just get a second one, and then Trinity becomes available. And one of the things that you have to keep in mind, and I recorded this once, but now I'm catching on it. I went back and I looked at it, and I realized that Fusion Destiny, it is such a good card, but it locks you into summoning dark heroes for the rest of the turn. So it cuts off your Stratos, it cuts your mass heroes, Diane. It cuts, which is really strong because Solid Soldier. So we have to use that Fusion Destiny last. That should be the last thing we do. That's why we're putting all these monsters on board. We're generating all these pluses, all these bodies. Our hand is stacked with fusion cards that we need to kill our opponents. As you can see, we have access to all 3. So people are dying. So Link 2, they serve no purpose anymore. They did everything they could. Summon Cross Crusader, one of the best cards. Cross Crusader summon. Bring back any Vision hero. Destiny hero. So get Mally. Tribute Mally. So we have not normal summon. This guy's still here chilling. What's a good hero monster that can do something upon summon? Drawing is pretty good. It lets us get another card, which might be really relevant. Let's see. He can get us back any banished hero, which we already banished him, and we don't want to do anything with him. Or he can give us plus 1,000. So we're just gonna go get ourselves a draw hand. Let's just draw an extra card. That would be pretty useful. And if we're really cheeky, we can summon Darklo and pluck a card out of the hand like it. Okay, so our board, our graveyard is super stacked. Banish pile, everything that's bricky in the deck is out of the deck, and this is when, if you have cards like Pot of Desires, you would Desires here to draw into more like monsters so you can basically OTK your opponent. But in this case, we have not used any of our fusion spells, but we're ready to, and this is when everything comes into play. We're gonna normal summon Solid Soldier in the zone. Let's see, let's graveyard, banish. Okay, so Solid Soldier will special summon Drawhan, and Drawhan, it's summoned by the effect of a hero monster, allows us, both players, to draw a card. So we draw a card. And we drew Plasma, convenient. Plasma is really strong. It's probably going to be one of the last cards we activate this turn. What do we want to get back with this Solid Soldier? We can get back that Stratos to get something else, or we could just go get back that Stratos and win the game. So at this point, we're going to Cross Crusader has served his purpose, brought somebody back, allows us to do more things by searching anybody we need it. So just but we want those arrows. We want those arrows. So we are going to fuse these two guys, Stratos and Solid Soldier, into the Unbreaker, but because he's the most generic fusion we have, he's the one that gets to do all of this. Let's see. So we poly into him. Now Solid Soldier has been used by the effect of a spell card, and he can get us any hero back. And then at this point, we're just gonna go get back to Stratos. It has to be in the fence, which it doesn't matter. It's even the fusions, but Stratos will let us get anybody back. So we get Dynattack. If our Fusion Destiny gets stopped, let's say our opponent magically happens to have 2 Ash Blossoms or Ash Blossom and Bell or whatever, then we need Dynattack to boost our guys. So now we're gonna link. And it's very important, very, very, very important to keep your Destiny heroes around, because you need to summon Dystopia, and Dystopia is one of those that lets us remove threats off the board. It's really good. It pops cards in the field, and it's overall the better fusion in the deck. This card is just so strong. So you want to keep your fusions around, and we need that poly back, and we haven't not used Malicious. And that's the one thing about nowadays, that Malicious being at 1, you have to like use him to his full potential. You cannot just go like Malicious effect, because you would just die. You need to be able to control the ways that you play Malicious. If he goes back to 3, then go right ahead and play everything. Just do whatever you want with him. But at 2, you have to be smart about it. I did try Pot of Extravagant Equip. What is that one pod card that shuffles 3 monsters and draws a card? Somebody down below post it, or I'll post it down later. Is that one shuffle 3 monsters, draw a card? Maybe to get those Malicious, but it doesn't happen as much as you think. If we play a Lure of Darkness, maybe, but I don't want to do that. So 2 Mallies, it sucks, but we're making it work. So a hero was summoned to a zone he points to. We're gonna go get that poly, because we need to summon Dystopia. And Alex, you can summon Dystopia already. No, I'm using Fusion Destiny for dominance. That's what we're going to do. So now Mally just served its purpose. Everybody has been juiced. As you can see, I'm juicing my cards, using them as in the best way at the right time. And with a deck like this, a rogue deck, you need to be able to do everything perfectly. Every plus matters. So here we are just gonna choose we're gonna activate. Finally we get to do this. So we get to fuse with monsters from our deck. I'm gonna put a +2 in there, I'm gonna put another +2 in there, and I'm gonna put another +2 in there. Yeah. I know. So 3 dark monsters, 3 fusion monsters, 3 destiny monsters into this guy. Dominance. Something I've been wanting to toy around with is playing Super Poly, and Super Poly gets me access to Starving Venom. A lot of my guys are dark. I can poly into it right now and just be able to like crush and Raigeki and attack for game. So Super Poly will allow me to play against Thunder, which is really strong, and Super Poly will allow me to play against Salamangreat and more OTKs as well. So Super Poly is still in the back of my head, and Starving Venom is not a bad card. So we summon him, then we fuse 2 heroes for this guy, and when he is summoned, we target any low for lower fusion Destiny hero monster in our graveyard, and they lose life points equal to it. So we're gonna target this guy, and they lose 16, and this is dead. This is sort of dead. This is not dead, but let's not use him. And what we can do here is Adoration can target anybody and make anybody lose and gain attack, which is gigantic. They're plus 1,000,000. We have a bunch of heroes here. Everybody's used their effects. Everybody's been juiced now. We have mass change that has as access to Anki, and Anki can kill something. Gives us access to form change. Form change anybody, could be this guy, into Diane. Diane gets his anybody else. He lets us draw cards when we kill dudes. So there's so much damage to be dealt, and so many different ways. I feel like heroes have an actual chance now, and if Konami does something in the balance to help the deck, like a hero lives to 2 or 3, we just do crit. That's all I'm asking. So as you can see, test hints. Hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know what you thought of them, and hopefully this is still recording, which it is. But yeah, let me know what you think of these. Look at my channel. I have more videos like this up there, and I'll be releasing more, but I'll be doing more deck profiles like this, more discussions. I'll start a podcast with my friends. Hopefully you like those. I'm working on a ban list discussion. Hopefully it doesn't come out until we're done with that. But I'm really excited to be doing that. If you guys have any questions about any decks that you guys want to see, let me know. I'll get to the comments eventually, but I will get to them. Deck doctors, send me your lists. I want to see what you guys are doing, and hopefully we can work on it and improve it and make it better, so everybody can have a better time playing the game. And that's what we're trying to do here. We are trying to play fun decks, but making them as competitive as we can. We will be talking about casual plays, casual decks, and like fun duels, but competitive nature main. This is what we're trying to do, make our decks the best that we can, and that's the whole point of me working on this deck. Hopefully you guys liked my list, and this is going to be the ending of my heroes videos for a little bit, just because there's so many other things I want to work on. But I'm not getting rid of the deck, of course. I'm going to play this, and I will bring you tournament reports if you guys want that. But this is it for heroes, for my list for a while. This is what I'm going to be testing. If you guys like it, try it out. Let me know how it worked out for you. And if you have a list, let me know. Post it down below, like a video response, and I'll look it up into it, and we can maybe talk about the deck. But if you made it this far, thank you. Long videos, I know, but I have to explain a lot. Like the video if you like the video, the deck. Check out my channel for more videos like this, and peace. Alex out.